tell you that not all, some of my favorites. Go the extra mile. This says, and I'll point this one to the younger audience, by the way, thank you to the younger folks and your parents for bringing you out. I love what you represent. I see that gleam in your eyes, and you represent the future in all seriousness you do. This is a story about a young person, so our young people can relate to this. My last launch, which was the December launch of '06, a little over 4 years ago, 1 week before the launch, Sunny Williams was going to fly on that mission. She was going up to the International Space Station for a total of 6 months. So 1 week before Sunny Williams' launch, I went over to the Sanford Elementary School by Orlando, Florida, to commission the Sanford School as a NASA Explorer School. A higher honor you cannot get for a school. And once they get this commission, and a lot of money flows to help the students set up laboratories and promote science and technology. Well, when my car arrived, this little girl, you can see her name is Sunny also, she stepped out and she said, "Mr. Kendrick, my name's Sunny and I'm going to be your hostess." I said, "Well, Sunny, that's very nice. Did you know that 1 week from today, a girl named Sunny is going to go to space?" And no, she didn't, but she was mighty impressed that another girl named Sunny was going to fly on the space shuttle and go to the space station. So Sunny and I spent about 3 hours at school, from class to auditorium, speeches and commissioning the school. And as Sunny brought me back to my car, I don't know what prompted me to ask, but I happened to say, "Sunny, you never told me your last name." She said, "Oh, it's Williams." No, it's not. It can't be. The lady I'm telling you about is Sunny Williams. And so spontaneously, I just said, "Sunny, please get your parents, come over to the launch, be my guest." And Bernie was their hostess, by the way, and it was just a beautiful evening for Sunny. So fast forward 3 days, and I greeted Sunny Williams, the astronaut, in her T-38 when they landed at the shuttle landing strip coming in from the Johnson Space Center. They landed at the shuttle strip, and I greeted Sunny as she stepped off the plane. And I said, "Sunny, you got a lot on your mind, so I won't dwell on this, but I do want you to know a little girl named Sunny Williams is going to be in the audience watching you fly in 4 days." Without thinking, Sunny ripped off her name tag that said Sunny Williams and said, "Would you give this to Sunny for me?" And I said, "I'd be happy to." But I wanted to ask you to do another favor. Would you think about sending her an email from the International Space Station? She's going to be up there 6 months. And she said, "I'd be happy to, but I'd like to go the extra mile." That's where this came from. She said, "If you will get the contact information, I would like to give her a call on her birthday from the International Space Station." Sunny changed little Sunny forevermore by being willing to go the extra mile. And I just talked to this Sunny last week, and she now wants to track down little Sunny for follow-up conversation. And I mean, she's going the extra mile and making a difference in the life of a young person. So here's that launch we talked about, where Sunny Williams is on board the vehicle. It was also a discovery, by the way. You may not know this, Sunny did a lot of extravehicular activities. I'll call them EVAs from here on out. There's a picture of Sunny doing an EVA. Sunny also ran on the treadmill. They have to do a lot of exercise because zero gravity makes your muscles atrophy, your bones atrophy, your heart atrophy. So they have to do an awful lot of exercise. Sunny ran the Boston Marathon, literally in sync with the real Boston Marathon. When they shot the gun, she started on her treadmill. Her sister was in Boston running the Boston Marathon at the same time. Sunny went in for 4 hours and 24 minutes. Her sister had about the same time, but her sister went a lousy 26.2 miles. Sunny went 76,000 miles during her 4 hours and 24 minutes. See, I think the story's over. It's not quite this one's probably what it should be. So when Sunny got back from 6 months on orbit, the Johnson Space Center people, Mike Coates, who I've got to tell you about before I leave, they're the director of the Johnson Space Center. Mike promoted Sunny to be the deputy director of the astronaut office. Okay? As the deputy, the director of the astronaut office typically tells the deputy to go do things he don't want to do. You guys remember when Stephen Colbert had the competition, Name That Node? It was one of the International Space Station nodes. They had competition all around the country, Name That Node. Stephen Colbert got a big group of his following to turn in his name, and he technically won by vote. So Sunny's job was to fly to New York, and this is a picture taken live in front of Stephen Colbert, to tell him and the world, are we going to call this the Colbert node? And the answer was no. It was right around the 40th anniversary of the Apollo 11. Apollo 11 landed, as you may recall, at a base called Tranquility Base on the surface of the moon. They named the node Tranquility Node. So Sunny said, "But Stephen, not to worry. we named some, you came in second place. We're going to name that treadmill that she ran the marathon on. And this is for real, by the way. That patch is a legitimate JSC patch. It's on the treadmill as we speak. And it's called the Colbert Treadmill. It stands for Combined Operational Load Bearing External Resistance Treadmill. So Colbert was satisfied that he didn't get the node named after him, but he got the treadmill.